If you have friends and family who can't be here with us, let them know that this event is being streamed live on Facebook and YouTube, and is the Anglican Diocese of Accra channel. So it's ADOA TV Ghana spelled in full. They should be able to follow proceedings here. So, the author, Professor Alex Dodoo, has been telling everyone he's turning 60 in a few days. I would like to, with your support, commission a public inquiry into his age. He should show us his Ghana card, because the man looks younger than 45, and he's trying very hard to make us believe he's actually older than that. And so I've known Prof for the best part of, oh wow, a long time, 17 years. And it was at the time that the very first book was launched, and that's how I came to know him, because a very dear friend of mine was did a proofreading, and that's how I came to read the first book, and then later got to meet the author. He's since then been an older brother, someone I can go to for a lot of counsel. And I say this because he's the epitome of what I believe God wanted us all to be. Because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with us, it was God. But in the Word is life, right? And in life, we all have a responsibility to give something. And the gifts that God places in us is not to enrich us. So for those of you who have been unable, like me, to dedicate your time to studying to become a professor, he's sharing that knowledge for free. Well, technically, the amount of money it costs to purchase this is nowhere near the value of the knowledge that's being shared in this book. And if you haven't bought the very first one, make sure you do. So you have the trilogy of healthy secrets. Without wasting too much of your time, I would like for you all to help me welcome to the stage Alan George Dodoo Esquire. He is a product of Professor Alex Dodoo's loins, and he will be introducing the chairperson. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'm here to introduce the chairperson, but before I get into that, I would like to share a little story about the book. Well, not about the book, but about my experience with the book. So give or take, about sometime last year, June, I started work at a law firm, started my pupillage. When I started, I needed something to help me cope with the work, because I needed to be more focused. So I went to Prof, who many of you know is my dad, and told him that I wanted to start going to the gym. Obviously, he's not opposed to that. He agrees with it. The gym is fine. But little did he know that I wanted him to pay for my gym membership. And the gym membership, if you are paying for the whole year, it makes more sense, especially as it's not my money. So I managed to convince him, and he told me that he would get me, but he always says that he's never gotten me back. Fast forward, April 2024, he came back from one of his business trips and told us that he feels like it's time that we go for a boys trip. And, I'm young, boys trip sounds fun. When I can post on social media, everyone sees me living a good life, so I agreed. We arrived in London, and the next day, Prof calls us and tells us that there are 1,000 boxes of books coming. And since we are here and we are young, we are going to carry each book up the stairs, 2 floors. Obviously, this has to be a joke, because I'm not carrying 1,000 boxes up the stairs. We're laughing about it. Tuesday came, we are still laughing. Wednesday came, we are still laughing. Thursday, the first 500 books come. Obviously, we are in England, so somebody's going to carry this up the stairs. No, they left it at the bottom, and here comes my brother and I, Alex, and I lifting up the books up the stairs. Thinking Prof will help us, Prof stood at the door and became our coordinator. Oh, Carrie, pass left, you'll be fine. So I would like to acknowledge first of all that yes, Prof, you've gotten me back, but that's just one round. We go again. So very soon I would get you back. Just letting everybody know, so when I get them back there are no complaints. Anyways, I'm here to introduce the chairperson. Reverend Xtra Bratton is the director of program for the Anglican Diocese of Accra. She is a member of the United States Trade Advisory Committee on Africa and served on the 2020 Eminent Advisory Committee of the Electoral Commission of Ghana. Reverend Xtra is also the co-founder of ACCRA, a faith-based foundation which has a vision to see a world where underprivileged youth have an opportunity to pursue their passion. As a priest, Xtra serves at the Holy Trinity Cathedral. Reverend Xtra is a graduate of Ghana International School and holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Engineering Physics from Miami University in the United States of America, a Master's of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from Virginia Tech in the United States, an MBA from Indiana University in the United States, and a Master of Arts degree in Ministry from the Trinity Theology Seminary in Legon, Ghana. With a round of applause, may we please introduce... Thank you.
Thank you. I now understand how come I keep seeing you at the gym. On page 36 of Healthy Secret Super, Prof quotes Douglas Adams, who says, "My universe is my eyes and my ears. Everything else is hearsay." Welcome to this book. Today we are bringing an end to yesi, ake. Something is hurting, then you call somebody, "Oh, Charlie, I heard that they say if you do this, it will go." I remember my daughter called me up. I was in the US and she called and said her ears were ringing. She couldn't sleep. And like a good mother, I went on to Google to find a solution to... I can see Dr. Shribo looking at me like, "Why didn't you go to school?" I went to Google to try and find out how do you solve this problem of ear ringing. I didn't even know what it was called. Tonight it's apparent. So one group said you should put vinegar, and another group said you should put oil, coconut oil. Oh, I mean, it was like we were making a salad in her ears. So eventually I called Prof, and he said, "Just put a drop of olive oil and solve the problem." And truly it solved the problem. So today, tonight, like I said, we are bringing an end to hearsay. Now, part of the hearsay is that when you come to a book launch, you're coming to clap and congratulate the person. That is not true. When you come to a book launch, you're coming to buy the book. So forget everything you heard. Tonight, we are selling books. We are selling Prof's books, the Healthy Secret Extra and Healthy Secret Super. You know, Prof's parents paid a lot of school fees. Most of us, our school fees doesn't reach where Prof's school fees reach. But he's brought it down to a very simple, funny, catchy thing. Anything you ever wanted to know about gout, about your stomach, about any part of your body, you can find out in these books, Healthy Secret Extra and Healthy Secret Super. Now, I was thinking that I wonder how Prof named this book. And I'm thinking he was probably with his friends and thought, "Charlie, the book is called Healthy Secret. So what do we do?" And one guy said, "Then make one super and then the other one extra." And so they agreed. And so here we have it, Healthy Secret Super and Healthy Secret Extra. Congratulations, Prof, and happy birthday. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Xtra. So, I had the privilege of having a look at some of the content of the books. And it is true that Yesi will end tonight because as a precocious 7-year-old, I had an uncle who's passed on now, but he was my favorite uncle because he played football and played the guitar. I followed in his steps to play football, but I could never master the guitar. And there was a time, you know, I was born in the 70s, so around that time I was early 80s, so he had a big fro. Some of you can relate, even though you may not have that much hair now, but such is life. And I wanted to have hairy chest because he looked good. I liked him. I idolized my uncle, so I also wanted to have hairy chest. And one day he was having a haircut, and he says, you know, if you want hairy chest, you collect the hair. Our family is a very mischievous one. We prank ourselves a lot. So my uncle says, well, if you collect the hair and stick them on your chest, rub them there, it will grow. The only thing that grew that day was discomfort because it was itchy. If only I had a copy of Healthy Secrets. And it's the one thing that Prof has not written in there. So maybe when he releases Healthy Secrets Ultra, we might just have a chapter dedicated to growing chest hair. But indeed, we're here to buy books, so I'm not going to talk too much, so you can quickly write big checks, give us the money, so we can close, we go home quickly, and then tomorrow morning you realize, oh, maybe I should have bought less. But please, right now, all of you, look at me. In 3, 2, 1, you'll all buy 1,000 copies each. Now, open your eyes. Trust me, I could never hypnotize anyone. So we've heard from Reverend Ekwa, and Professor Dodoo is a fine gentleman who has never shied away from letting the world know how proud he is to be a Ga, and more importantly, that he supports the true Ga club, Accra Great Olympics. And that's just all I can tell you, but there's a gentleman who will tell you more. Let's welcome George Kojo Enti, another lawyer. George Kojo Enti, Esquire. So our chairperson is brainy, another smart person. I feel smart already.
Thank you very much, Xtra. Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I think I'll stand on the existing protocols that have already been established by Xtra. Let me see by hands those of us who know Professor Dodoo personally. Okay, okay, okay. So I have seen those who followed their friends here. Professor Dodoo is a man of many talents, and he's many things to many people. To some, he's a boss. To some, he's a friend. In fact, to many, he's a friend. To some, he's a father. To some, he's a professor. He's a teacher. To one, he's a husband. You're expecting me to say some? Yes. You were expecting it. You were expecting it. I knew you were expecting it. But depending on which circles you know him in, you know something different about him. I'm going to be on my best behavior tonight, so I'm not going to tell you what I personally know about Prof and how well I know him. We'll stick to the script. We don't want any trouble this evening. So I'll tell you who Professor Dodoo is, at least what we all ought to know about Professor Alex Dodoo. Professor Alex Dodoo, affectionately called Neoto, is the Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, a position he has held since 2017. He is also the president of the African Organization for Standardization from 2022, and he will hold that position till 2025. He's an associate professor at the University of Ghana School of Medicine and Dentistry, and the founder and director of the African Collaborating Center for Pharmacovigilance and Surveillance. Professor Dodoo studied at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi. He also studied at King's College in London and the University of Alberta, Edmonton in Canada. He's a registered pharmacist in Ghana and a fellow of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. He's also a fellow of the West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacy Practice and a member of the Royal Pharmaceutical Society of Great Britain. Professor Alex Dodoo served as the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana from 2008 to 2011 and the president of the Pharmacy Information Section of the International Pharmaceutical Federation from 2008 to 2012. He also served as the president of the International Society of Pharmacovigilance from 2009 to 2012. He was the chairman of the strategic group of the Global Vaccine Safety Initiative of the World Health Organization from 2012 to 2015, as well as the director for the WHO Collaborating Center for Advocacy and Training in Pharmacovigilance from 2009 to 2017. He was for several years a member of the Global Advisory Committee on Vaccine Safety and the Advisory Committee on the Safety of Medicinal Products, both for the WHO. He serves on numerous local and international boards and committees. Professor Alex Dodoo has a passion for developing tools that enable complex health information to be effectively communicated to experts and laypersons alike, and has since 2007 lectured on the Master of Science in Vaccinology and Pharmaceutical Clinical Development at the University of Siena in Italy. He has published several scientific papers in peer-reviewed journals, and his first book, Healthy Secrets, A Layperson's Guide to Health Issues, was published in 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, the author who we are here to celebrate, whose books we are here to launch today, is Professor Alex Dodoo, and this is the man. Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. I'm the master of ceremonies and I'm law unto myself, so I will say something that's off the script. When journalists were afraid to speak truth to power, this young professor, he called out the ignorance of a group of men and women who were so upset they hauled him before their privileges committee. You can fill in the blanks yourself. And this was at the time where I think it was the WHO was toying with the idea of doing a vaccine trial. Was it a malaria vaccine, wasn't it? It was Ebola vaccine, that's the one. Yes. And evidently because of his, you heard his profile, because of his line of work, he understood that there was no worry in trialing the vaccine here in Ghana. And some people said, hey, no. He says, no, don't mind them there. And he said it live on radio. The next day they hauled him. I'm so grateful that when they called him, they didn't call the journalist he was having the conversation with on the radio, because honestly, I would not have been able to answer them the way he did. But that's the man, Professor Alex Dodoo. A round of applause, please. We've experienced Professor Alex Dodoo in many different ways. As George said, to some he's taught us, to some he's a dad, uncle, friend, brother, husband. But there's a man here who can share with us a few things about his experience of the Prof as a writer. See, I may speak well, but I have yet to write one book. Writing is not easy, and takes a for you to understand what it takes to write. Let's welcome Mr. Peter Agbeko.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, I stand on all existing protocol. By way of introduction, my name is Peter Mate Agbeko. And until recently, I used to work with Professor Alex Dodoo of the Ghana Standards Authority as the head of public relations. He's a gentleman I have known for close to 2 decades. So it's a pleasure for me to be here today. I'll share with you what I have put down. It is with great pleasure and honor that I stand before you today to celebrate the launch of not just one, but 2 remarkable additions to the realm of health literature. Healthy Secrets Super and Healthy Secrets Extra, authored by the brilliant mind and compassionate heart of Professor Alex Dodoo. Many of us remember the profound impact of Professor Dodoo's inaugural work, Healthy Secrets, which graced our shelves in 2011, offering invaluable insight into health in a manner that was both informative and accessible. It quickly became a trusted companion for those navigating the often complex landscape of well-being. And now, Professor Alex Dodoo gives us not one, but 2 sequels, Healthy Secrets Super and Healthy Secrets Extra, promising to elevate our understanding of health to even greater heights. As we gather here today, I am filled with a sense of anticipation, knowing that these new volumes are destined to follow in the footsteps of their predecessor. The wealth of knowledge, the depth of research, and the clarity of communication within these pages are sure to empower each reader on their journey to optimal health vitality. I have no doubt that just as Healthy Secrets before them, these new releases will fly off the shelves, finding their way into the hands and hearts of individuals hungry for reliable information and practical advice. So, my dear friends, I urge you not to hesitate. Secure your personal copies today and embark on a transformative voyage towards a healthier, happier life. Now, as we embark on this celebration, let us take a moment to reflect on the profound importance of health communication. In a world inundated with information, where myths and misconceptions abound, effective health communication serves as a beacon of clarity amidst the fog. It empowers individuals to make informed decisions about their well-being, encourages proactive engagement with healthcare professionals, and fosters a culture of wellness within community. Moreover, health communication transcends mere dissemination of facts. It cultivates empathy, understanding, and trust. It bridges the gap between healthcare providers and the public, fostering meaningful dialogue and promoting collaborative approaches to health promotion and disease prevention. In essence, effective health communication is not just a tool, it is a catalyst for positive change, a cornerstone of well-being, and a testament to the power of knowledge shared with compassion and clarity. As we celebrate the launch of Healthy Secrets Super and Healthy Secrets Extra today, let us reaffirm our commitment to promoting healthy literacy, fostering open dialogue, and championing the well-being of all individuals now and in the days to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Agbeko, who is making me look forward to retirement. The man hasn't stopped reminding me he's freshly retired and is enjoying it very much. A round of applause for those very kind words. So, there are a few scriptures that when you go to Sunday school sticks with you, because as we grow and go through life, there are plenty distractions that peck away at the scriptures that we learn. But there's one I'll never forget. We all know it. For lack of knowledge, the people perish. But many of us don't know that you'll find it in the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. But I do, because very early on in my life, my parents divorced when I was very young. And I've become the sum total of all the good people who my mom had around. And so I became very curious as a child, and I asked a lot of questions, and I learned a lot of things. And I share this with you because inherent in the book, or the books that Professor Alex Dodoo has authored, are years of knowledge, very well researched facts, and things that you cannot, in the time it will take for you to read this, be able to find the money to acquire. If knowledge can stop or save us from destruction, then every one of us need a copy of this. And you need some for friends, family, and foes. And why foes? Well, you need them. There's a table before you in the presence of your enemies. You need enemies to make God's word true. We're just about to go into the launch. But, I mean, why could this not be a book with a title that scares you? A compendium of so and so, or 10 steps to a healthier life. But he says, healthy secrets. Professor Alex Dodoo, please step forward and tell us why, of all the names you could have chosen for a title, you went for this. And thank you very much for the applause.
I'm asking Xtra what I should say. I think I'll start by thanking all of you for giving time of your very busy schedule to be here. I see my mom's friend, Auntie Mercy, there. Auntie Mercy is getting close to 90, and she's here. Auntie Mercy, you're welcome. She is representing my late mom, so. Secrets. Look, I love stories. And my sons and my daughter, who is not here today, will tell you that I'm always telling stories. Usually on how not to give them money. I can't say I tell stories to my wife, or else I'll be in trouble. But I try. So why do I like to tell stories? In 2003, thereabout, I was sitting somewhere in the university when I was called to the Ministry of Health about something to do with Ebola, polio crisis in Nigeria. To cut a long story short, I was asked to help solve the crisis that people were refusing vaccination because of rumors. So I didn't have a US visa then. They gave us a visa in the house and took us to the US to solve the problem. When we spent lots of money. It turns out that the crisis in Nigeria had nothing to do with the polio vaccine, but communication around it. That if you take the vaccine, your sons will be sterile, and so on and so forth. But worse still was the fact that the scientists were trying to communicate, and scientists are rubbish at communication. Simple. So we realized that the problem we had is that scientists with the knowledge are useless with the communication. Communicators with the communication skills don't have the scientific knowledge. So indeed, I went to the Ministry of Health then and forced them to form something called Health Communications Institute, where we scientists met journalists and we started talking. The end result was I would write a story for Daily Graphic, and one writer go there would say, "Prof, this is rubbish." Means just here. I said, "What?" He said, "Everything you've written is rubbish." So we started breaking it down. Fast forward 2007, 13th February, I remember the day. I was doing my work in the medical school when the Minister for Health, the late Courage Kwashigan, sent for me that there was a deworming exercise in Ghana and children were dying and I should go and investigate. And I refused. So he said he will arrest me. I refused because then, you know, medical school people, we're always in trouble. We don't get money from the ministry and yet to work for them. Or Dr. Stribo Alai. So I said I won't do it because there was no money. Then he said he will arrest me. And I didn't know that in the Republic of Ghana, it's an offense to obstruct a public officer in the conduct of his duty. So if a minister sends you and you don't go, you can be arrested. So I called my friends out of the country, overseas, that what do I do? That week in Ghana, 4.1 Ghanaian children were given medicines to remove worms from the same manufacturer the whole week, all basic schools. When the exercise started, news came out that the children were dying. It was first Joy, Adom, and you know, the usual peace. So when I was called, I panicked. And I realized that if I go and investigate, I may never come back alive. You know, because the stakes were high. So I told the minister then that I will go on one condition, that I control the narrative. And nobody speaks because it's a crisis. And they will take my instruction. And he agreed. Then I said, but I need 3 cars. You know, have friends, you know. The following day was Valentine's Day. You know, if you're going to die, you might as well die well. So I drove straight to the epicenter, that was the Volta region. When I got there, the schools, there was disruption. There were guns. Teachers were being beaten. These are facts. So after about 5 places where we were chased, it turns out that nobody died from the medicine. But when they started deworming, I think a minivan hit a taxi, or a taxi hit a minivan, the van hit a wall, the wall broke on the child was carried to the hospital and died. So it had no relationship, but it showed us the power of rumors. And indeed, on 14th February, when I gave my report, both the Daily Graphic and the Ghanaian Times, their editorial was the power of rumors. So it became clear that we need to do better at communication before we do public events. The Ebola issue is well known. Parliament had their issues. I was invited, and after I've done my purgatory, I was told to go and sin no more. So I went and sin no more. But I think as a country, we can communicate better. Literacy can be weak, but health literacy tends to be weaker. But how do you get people to read? I have a very fertile imagination. And any friend of mine who has a problem becomes good for storage. So if you're with someone who has itchy bottom, look, it's a very, very difficult thing. If I had itchy bottom now, I won't be standing. I'll be going backwards and forwards because, you know, you can't really stand. The situation is quite tricky. You get me? But people will never go to the hospital. They will sit in trotro and be moving their bodies and, you know. So I decided that, you know what, put all this in writing. So I wrote about itchy bottom. I wrote about women who want to postpone their periods and they don't know how to ask for it because it can be done. I wrote about ear problems, eye problems, nose problems. You know, sometimes people want to increase their buttocks, but they don't know how to do it. Yes, people do buttocks enhancement. What they don't realize that your buttocks gives you gait and makes you look the way you walk. So if you get it wrong, you walk, but, you know, it deforms you. I'm not going to say much because So I was writing for The Spectator every week for about 10 years. And it was painful. Because you have to create a story. I mean, I've written about Kwashiorkor in America. You have to read about it. I've written about whether coughing is a weapon of mass destruction or it's a disease. Because during the 2012 presidential debates, anytime His Excellency the President started speaking, Ayarikov started coughing. Indeed, the cough was so bad that we didn't know whether it was a cough or a strategy. A few months later, after Honorable Ayarika did that against my boss, His Excellency the President, in the UK, there's a program called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And an army man won the £1 million prize. But it turns out that he had a friend who was coughing the answers in the audience. Yes, so the man was arrested and jailed together with his wife. So you see, health conditions can also be signs. I mean, my good friend Vincent is here. If he sees me and he whistles, we all know that we have to know good. So whether a cough is a cough or a cough is a cough. But it really affected the outcome of the election. And who knows, His Excellency would have been. Anyway, let me not go into all those things. I would just want to thank everybody who has made time to come here. The books are there for you to read the stories. There are 40 in each chapter. I'm a last-minute person. In fact, the books, my son spoke the truth. The books came out only on Friday, Thursday and Friday. Xtra came out Thursday, 500 kilograms. Super on Friday. But I booked this all 3 months ago. I'm a man of faith. I walk in faith. And my PA, Nina, said, how do you book the hall when you don't have the books? And I said, we walk by faith, not by sight. I must say that the lady who did the design, when she finished, no, she was pregnant. She actually had to be rushed for emergency CS. The books, I booked the flight to return on Thursday. I had to come on Saturday because they arrived Thursday and Friday. And we had to carry them up second floor. I coordinated the events effectively and the boys got the books. So I want to thank the boys. I want to thank her ladyship. Most people ask me whether I have a wife. I say I have a wife. I mean, you don't see her because I'm always in town with the boys at Little Woods, but she's here and she doesn't like to be seen. So I want to thank all of them. I want to thank my students. I've seen Hagar here. She's my PhD student. So she knows me and last minute. Me, I don't plan anything, no. She always says, so we are going on this journey in 3 countries. What are we doing? I said, when we get there, it will happen. And there's been at least more than once when we've arrived and I have forgotten to book the hotel. But trust me, she's never slept on the street. She always gets a place. I mean, you find somewhere for the lady, you go and find somewhere for yourself. And so you will not believe it. But this morning, around 11, George, what time did we start thinking of the detailed program? Because I called Reverend Ikuya. When I called her at 9:30, I said, Reverend Ikuya, tell me you are in Ghana. I said, you are in Ghana. I said, Reverend Ikuya, you have to save my soul. I told Katie we'll launch the book, but the books were not in. So Katie is not here. And he said, oh, I'm coming from Kumasi. So Reverend Ikuya just came from Kumasi. And incidentally, I'm the board chairman for ACCRA, her foundation. So as board chairman, she has to do one for. Well, so I wouldn't approve her salary. I have Jean-Claude here, I have Frederick here, Nichoko. I think when you start the names, you run into trouble. I have Rexford here, Antina Parry, thanks, Uncle PK. Team GSE, I'm done. But please, my not being correct, until I will tell you, I've never been correct. I've tried by 60 years to be very well behaved, but it's not working. The Little Boost boys and their friends, they don't help me. My son say every single disease, I have a drink for it. And I'm sure those who work with me, they know what drink it is. But please, take the advice in the book. Don't take what I do. My son says that you always write good books, but you don't take your own advice. Finally, what I will say about the books is that, seriously, you don't have to read them from one place to the other. Just read them. Dr. Osman Mensah is here. They were well researched, but what happened was that, like every writer, I felt lazy. The first book took 5 years to put together the articles. This one took about 7 years. Unfortunately, I had to recheck every health information. Fortunately, I have PhD students. I called them overseas. I said, do it for me. Then the person who did the most work, Mrs. Ellen Yankee, he died. This lady was hired by us to work for us. I didn't know her from Adam. She started working with us 2018. She saw the books and said, Prof, this is, she's British trained and lived there. So I said, Alex, this is a very good book. It should be. And then I didn't even know she had a health condition to do with the lungs. COVID came. She couldn't fly out on time. When she flew out, she passed on. So Healthy Secret Super is dedicated to her and to all the health workers. Healthy Secret Xtra is dedicated to my late mom and to all those who work to make sure that we are alive. We have started the conversation. Get a copy and save a life. Thank you very much.
May I crave your indulgence to do a quick poll of sorts? But how many books are you going to buy before you leave here? There's about 400 of us. 1,000 each? How many do we have? Well, we have 1 million copies. The rest are available via order. So we can accommodate what your demand is, however many you want. And the reason I ask that is it's about 13 minutes to 7. Hopefully we'll leave here by 7. But if you all don't promise me you'll buy 5 books before you leave here and then another 995 later on order, we'll leave here at midnight. There are 3 policemen standing at the doors, and we'll all stay here till we sell 1 million books. But on a more serious note, so people make the world. God created all the things and then created human being last. People make the world go around. And people who are healthy make the world a healthier place. And so if you want to be healthy, if you buy this, you'd be Googling less and you'd be worrying your doctors less, because there's quite a lot of things that I learned in Healthy Secrets, the very first one, that I was able to deal with. Today, if I have a headache, I don't remember the last time I actually had to take a painkiller because I had a headache. If you have a headache, it's one of 2 things. You're dehydrated or you're very tired and hungry. And if you fix those 2 and still have a headache, then it's a signal to do some more checks. Prof, alive? That's it. So if you're a doctor friend of mine, you know I rarely will call you and say I have a headache, but I know how to fix it. And it's because Prof shared his knowledge generously. And he's got 2 more installments, and I think another 2, because there's Ultra and then Super Ultra to follow. First one took 5 years, second one took 7 years. How about 70th birthday? Then we'll do that, right? Cool. 10 years. Now, the time to launch the book is here. Immediately after the launch, get your checkbooks out. Get your wads of cash out. We accept all currencies except some. And those ones, usually they are single notes, but the value is in trillions. And I'll leave you to figure out which ones are in that space. But please, buy a few copies. You may not read it. Someone who gets 1 copy from you might. And if you have an itchy bottom one day, they might just be able to tell you what to do because they read the book you bought for them. So please, buy 1 for yourself and for friends, and then some for your foes. Help me welcome Professor F.C. Mills Robertson to launch the book. Prof himself is a board chair, and I don't know how he ended up here. Maybe he owes a favor or he's carrying forward a favor.
Thank you very much, Xtra. Prof, I'm happy you said you are a last-minute man. Yesterday, Prof said, definitely I have to see you. He traveled and I thought we had something to discuss before we have a board meeting coming on Tuesday. And because of this program, I was thinking that he wanted us to meet, and then he came. This. And I want you to launch the book for me. 12 midnight. Then he gave me 2 books. This is a guy who works hard. I've come to love this man. And he said one thing too. He works with faith. Whatever happens, he knows that at the end of it all, everything will be all right. The time I've been with him till now, what we've gone through, I shouldn't say all of them here. The man is a strong man. The man has been, should I say, persecuted throughout the short period that I have been with him. And in all cases, he comes out and successfully. Thank you. And I must praise your wife. She's done well, oh. True, I'm saying these things. The wife has done. This man walks in the night, or or midnight, after midnight. But I was wondering how you were able to put all these together. You are CEO, you are with pharmacovigilance, you are for this, you are for... When George was listed all these, and still you've been able to put these books, not just one, but all these. Congratulations. So I was looking, definitely before you launch a book, you need to read the book. So I started reading from night till this morning. So I saw cough, because normally when you go, they said, is it dry or wet? Then all of a sudden I saw ayari cough. I started laughing. So I went to Meta AI, and then I asked Meta, what is ayari cough? And he gave me ayari cough. It's a nickname given to Hassan Ayariga, a Ghanaian politician and founder of the All People's Progress Party. He was given this nickname after a debate in 2012, during which he coughed repeatedly and teased Nanado, who was also participating in the debate. So this is artificial intelligence giving us a cough. So you see, you will smile, you will laugh, then you read, then he tells you the cough, the different kinds. You are happy with it. He talked about the itchy bottom where the guy and the woman were dropped for the trotro, all because of itchy bottom. A guy and a lady, because the woman was fighting the guy, and then she hit the guy and they got down. So in the end, when the constable asked them, so they left them at the police station there. I said, Constable, I have an itchy anus. So he couldn't, and was doing. So I was imagining, I was reading, and me myself, I was doing this in my chair. You remember when there was this itchy, closer or this thing? People would put their hands in the pocket and be doing all sorts of things. So you see, the book comes with some sort of humor, but the things are there. Your ear. Oh, you know, we buy the cotton buds and it means that, the way he said, it means that you yourself, the bad that you are pushing the wax in. The wax that helps you to even, so all these, and I appreciate the book. So I looked at it, I also went to look for the women, and I saw hair loss, and I read, I won't tell you what I saw there. Hey! And the humor with it before, I want you to buy this book. I want you to buy this. You buy it, and you will know what you gain from it. So on this note, I want to launch Prof. Dodoo's 2 books, the Super and the Xtra. And as he said, maybe the Ultra will also come, and we don't know what that will be. You have a sense of humor. And then with your brilliance in these 2, please get the books to buy. I leave all these to Xtra. Xtra will let's make sure that all the books get finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. So I'm going to read 2 quick paragraphs of my 2 favorite chapters in the 2 books. And please don't think I read that fast. I leaf through and the heading or the just got my attention. So chapter 19 in Xtra. I won't read the caption at the top, but and there they were. Rectal bulb syringes, aka Bentua, of all shapes, colors and sizes, lined up neatly on a wooden table right in front of the public toilet, ready for use to administer enemas. There were small ones, medium-sized ones, and gargantuan ones. I wonder who would use those. Such unprecedented display of bowel cleansing apparatus looked strange and out of place till a bird whispered that purging is back in vogue. Now you want to read the rest? And now that I have closed this book, I need to find the other one. Oh yes, yeah, there was this one. But it's maybe my second favorite. Supposing you were prescribed a suppository. But that's not the one I wanted to go over. The one that I found quite interesting was chapter 20. When Ghanaians suffer Japanese diseases, Kabuki syndrome and Kawasaki syndrome. Until then, I didn't know there were Kawasaki was a brand of a motorbike or outboard motors. I didn't know there was a disease that was named Kawasaki. But it's a book that will leave you. I won't tell you what's in it. Buy the book. These are mine. You can get yours from here. So I'm going to auction some of these books. Someone just make my life a lot easier, because I mean I'm not an auctioneer. So who would like the very first copy? I'll pay for it. Yeah, no. Seriously, I'll pay for it. Just test God. God always surprises us. It might just be super, it might be ultra. But no, I'm serious. I'll pay for it. No, I wouldn't give. If you want this, I will give it to you, and I'll pay for it. I'll put a price on it myself, and I'll pay for it. You'd like it? Good. All right. So this book is now worth 5,000 cedis, and I'll pay for it with your money. Do we have a deal? We don't? But I would have still paid for it, except it's with your money. All right, so who's going to start us off on this one? Retail price, I won't tell you now, so you start bidding too low. But I'm expecting a minimum bid of 1,500 cedis, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 cedis. And if you can't pay 4,000, we'll pay it in installment. I'll make the arrangement for you. My interest rate is 2% a day. You want the 2 of them. So you'd want me to do a bundle. Okay. Yes. 2 books for both. Oh, as in 10,000 for both. 5,000 euros, dollars, pound sterling. 5,000. All right. I think that's a good start, but I think you can do much better than that. Okay? So I'll come back to you. I really appreciate your offer. I'll give you 2 for 7,000. That's fine. Yes. I've got 4 books left. 2. No, I don't like round numbers. 8 is divisible by 2. Make it, you know, you're sharp. You're a PhD. You unimadia. So 9,000. Yes. In the event the books you have turn out to be 2 of the same copy, we'll give you the other one. Don't worry. Yes. So the last 2 has to be more than 9,000. But as you know, it's 7, 9. But 11 is not sexy. Like 13 is okay, but more like 15 is more comfortable. I've seen someone I know who has a lot of money. So if you don't bid, yeah, it's you. I'm coming. If you don't bid, I'm coming to you. All right, so who would like the last 2 books? And this time I won't be paying with my money. Let me be honest with you. You will pay for it. This is so that more copies can be run. And more importantly, 10,000. I don't like even numbers, so we'll make it 11,500. God bless you. Sold. Okay. Yeah, now I'll tell you the retail price, but please, I know that Ghanaians have a very wonderful culture of hiding their wealth. So none of you want to show that you can afford to buy the books at the prices that have been mentioned. So a round of applause for the 3 individuals who have bought the books. You are brave and bold people. And may the God of Jacob stop the GRA from chasing you for what you just bought. But we have order books, order slips. And if you would like to buy copies to donate to your school, your alma mater, or you want to donate it to your church, to a book club, please just raise your hand and we'll get one of these over to you. And if you also just want to make a donation, so we do extra prints and maybe give them out, I can now tell you the retail price for each book is 200 CDs a copy. So 2,000 CDs would get you 10. I think you can donate that to a book club. Imagine being able to put this in the hand of, they call them, those people nowadays, the people who came after the Gen Zs. Do we have any of them here? Millennials, not a, thank you very much. They're millennials. So those folk know everything, but they tend to not read books. But I can guarantee you, when you have a very irritating itchy bottom, you will go and pick the book and look in there. So buy it anyway for a young person. Because it will be the difference between having some peace of mind or embarrassment. Well, thank you all for buying the books. It's 200 CDs a copy. We have the order slips, so please make sure that you pick a couple and place an order. I wouldn't waste any more of your time. Please help me welcome back here our chairperson and an author herself. Reverend, when's the next book? After your PhD. A round of applause for our chairperson, Reverend ACCRA.
Thank you very much. You know, I'm sure you'll all agree with me that it's not very often that you go to a book launch and you're actually entertained. A lot of times book launches are quite painful and you're thinking, oh man, when are we going to be done with this? But this has been absolutely fabulous. Thank you, Xtra. Thank you, Alex, for your intelligence and the way you use humor to just bring it all together, the anecdote, so that we can all relate to it. You know, you talk about things that people would normally feel like, oh, this is yucky and so on. But when you talk about it, it's actually quite presentable. So thank you. Thank you very much. Like I said, esse, the rumors are done. Now we have 3 books. 1 that was launched a while ago and 2 new books that we can reference. Things that we can go to and stop going to Google, stop going to all these strange sites that we go to and try out all kinds of weird remedies and then end up going back to Alex and saying, Kali, Alex, the thing I tried didn't work. So thank you all very much for coming. God bless you all and have a good evening.
Thank you very much. So the books that were just auctioned will be signed, or they're already signed? They'll be signed. Okay, so they'll be numbered. So there are 6 books. So you have number 3 and 4, 1 and 2, and then we have 5 and 6 over there. Yes, it's important so that when your grandchildren one day see the books, they'll know that you had. They would know that you got the first few copies, or one of the first few copies. Right. At this point, I would like to thank you all for being great sports, but to be super honest with you, if you left here without a copy of the book, you'd have done yourself a disservice. It's the kind of book that you can actually spend your night reading, be very well entertained, but the upside is that you will be imbibing so much knowledge that will enrich your life. And I'm not talking about money in your pocket, but without health, money in your pocket means nothing. So really, it's better than money. Let's welcome with a round of applause another Dodoo, another product of Professor Alex Dodoo's loins, Alex Dodoo Jr., Esquire, to give us the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. I believe I'm the better Alex Dodoo anyways, without the prof. Anyways, good evening, cherished guests, cherished, I don't know what to say. I think everyone here is a distinguished guest. It will be rude on my part to mention names. You would realize that the Healthy Secrets original is much more like myself, the first edition, the first child. You realize I came alone, a separate entity, but this one, there are 2. You realize I would say that the first book is about 322 pages. It was launched in April of 2011. If you realize, most of us have read the first edition. Even if you haven't read the first edition, you have read a bit of the stories that were shown in The Spectator and The Graphic. You would realize that if you know my siblings, you know which one is the Xtra and which one is the Super. Anyways, on a much more important and serious note, I would like to say thank you to all of you for coming. Most importantly, our friends from our church. Since my father is a man of faith, I will start with God first. Dean Saki and his wife, Mother. Ambassador from Malta to Ghana. Cherished Court of Appeal judges and other judges. Uncle Rex, chairperson, and her husband, Reverend Xtra, and Uncle Charles. My father's siblings, Uncle Alfred, Auntie Agi, Auntie Perpetual. I'm sorry, I won't be able to list everyone's names. I've even seen some of my lecturers, Justice. It's okay, I've been warned too. But anyways, thank you all for gracing the occasion. Dr. Srebo, I haven't forgotten you. There are so many names to mention. Uncle Horror, Uncle Biso, all the people from Holy Trinity and the Little Woods Club. It's been a great evening of hosting you. We hope that these 2 books, like my siblings, would enrich your lives and will take up a better form. And we hope the 2 additional books in the next 10 years or 5 years would also help us. But for now, it's thank you and good evening.
Thank you, Alex. So please don't be in a rush. We've actually been in a rush to get this part of the evening done. The final thing I'd like for you to do is to make sure you're buying a copy. So, Prof. Dodoo, it's a good thing you go for walks. You're healthy, you're strong. You're going to be standing here, and everyone will come over and buy a book and you sign it. That's, as MC, I can order you about for a change. And there are drinks outside, yes. So we'll do the books and we'll do the drinks. But some packages are also being handed over to you. Please talk to somebody you don't know before you leave. I believe in serendipity that's engineered. It's accelerated. You may have your breakthrough might be sitting next to you. So please, I'd like to ask you all not to be in a rush. Please make sure you grab a copy or 2 of the books before you leave. And I will now call on Reverend P.C. Ohiming-Menu of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana to do us the honors and give us the closing prayer. A round of applause as he comes.
I think we've been sitting for a while. Shall we all rise up as we share a word of prayer? Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you and we appreciate you for the grace upon your servant and your son, Prof. Alex Dodoo. We thank you for this colorful event. We give you the praise, we give you the glory. We ask that may these books transform and impact even generations yet unborn. We commit our evening into your hands. We pray that, oh God, may you lead all of us to our destination peacefully. And when we arise again to go by our duties, we shall give you thanks. We give you thanks and praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much. You may please take your seats for 1 more minute. Now, as we have advanced the digitalization agenda, some of you are wondering how you would be able to pay if you didn't have cash with you. Well, we have a Momo option available. We'll accept your check, and hopefully it won't be returned, because if it does, I've elected myself to represent it every week, so the bank will keep charging you. I'm just basically sorry. But yeah, we can accept checks made out to Professor Alex Dodoo, and we have a desk right at the back where you can make your cash payment, and there's a Momo number that you can make the payment to. So when you make your way to the desk, we'll be able to accept your payment. But please, if you feel you'd like to buy quite a number of them but not able to do it right now, we have these order slips, and I'll urge you all to sign them. Please don't be in a rush. Make a friend, and when you're done, drive home safely. Thank you all very much for coming. I'm Kweku Nshirado. God bless you all. Be safe. So the book signing is happening right here. If you're lucky, you might get a photograph as well after.
First and second.
Yes, sir.
Do you have the name of the one?
Things to life.
to life.